There has been no major law toward gun control in our country in an effort to curb violent crime. Most recently, on a street in New York City, the shooting of John Lennon once again focused worldwide attention on this country's murderous society. Tonight, reporter Cheryll Jones begins a 5-part Project 7 series on guns and their control. And here's part 1.
The aftermath of John Lennon's death is a revived and intense clamor for more gun laws. Old wounds are reopened. Here in Colorado, survivors and families of victims killed by bullets say their tragedies would not have happened if guns were outlawed.
It just seems terribly wrong that because Stephen Scott happened to pick up a gun and happened to decide that he wanted drugs or booze or whatever that Christmas, things went wrong, that all of a sudden my brother's dead. It's just, it's ridiculous.
Amy Shapiro's brother Andy was shot and killed Christmas Eve 1978 while on duty as a cab driver. He had responded to a call close to Staples Airport. It was Andy's last call. His passengers were his robbers and killers.
They followed this famous trail of blood through the snow right back to the cab and found my brother there dead. My annoyance with society is the general violence and the fact that guns are just around and they kill people. That's how I see them. I'd like to see them totally banned.
What a contrast to the modern day.
Jim Tucker was brought up with guns. His father was a county sheriff, and his children had guns to play with. After 3 tours in Vietnam, Jim was honorably discharged without a scratch. He was looking forward to a bright future in electronics, but instead, he's now blind, learning to read Braille, and is lonely for his children. All 3 of them are in custody of their grandmother in California. The court ruled him incapable of caring for them because of his blindness. An unknown assailant shot him twice in the head through a window, just a month after his discharge. A case of mistaken identity, police believe. The bullets were probably meant for the car repossessor next door.
My skull was blown open. I lost my right eye. My right eye is now plastic, thanks to the Veterans Administration. And I had to have a metal plate put in my skull to replace the bone that was torn apart. I think that handguns should be outlawed, but I don't think it's going to happen in the near future. You know, this morning's newspaper showed a picture of Ronald Reagan handing a rifle to President Portillo of Mexico, and I think that's pretty symbolic of what's not going to come to pass.
Ronald Reagan officially becomes the 40th president of the U.S. tomorrow and the 6th president with membership in the National Rifle Association. He opposes the banning of guns and national registration, but favors mandatory penalties for criminals using guns and a waiting period before purchase by law-abiding citizens like California's law. The next First Lady says she keeps a gun by her bedside. Gun control opponents say it's the criminal, not the gun, that causes crime. Still others claim a waiting or cooling off period for purchase only allows the government snooping rights into private affairs, and besides being ineffective, they say, it would cost millions to enforce. Some say their concerns are for the future of our country, for freedom, and fear registration is the first step toward confiscation, an unarmed citizenry, and an eventual police state.
Gun control is people control. And people control is dictatorship. And the thing that worries me is there's never been a mass genocide or a Holocaust and murder of millions of people except by the armed forces of the government against a disarmed citizenry. And firearms and freedom are inseparable. I do not trust the government to disarm the people.
The emotions in this issue run deep. We won't find the answers this week, but we'll explore both sides of the issue and talk to people whose guns are on both sides of the law. And tomorrow night, we'll take a look at the people whose guns are legally owned in Denver and how they use them. Cheryll Jones with a Project 7 report.